So Yaakov Avinu, like Caleb was saying, builds Am Yisrael, builds the Jewish people. Am I saying things? Hi. Yaakov Avinu builds Am Yisrael, and we learn from him, each and every one of us today, how we can live as better people, as better Jews, and how we can face trials, tribulations, even happy things, how we can face challenges of life, everything that Hashem sends us, and we learn from him. It's not just a history story, it's today, it's alive, it's thriving, it's for each and every one of us, how we can live our lives and respond and act and react to everything in life. He building Klal Yisrael. He finally successful to leave Lavan Harami, that's his father-in-law Lavan, from the city of Aram, the country of Aram. After 20 years of being there, he worked 7 hard years for Rachel, who he wanted to marry. Then Lavan did a switch and sneakily switched in Leah. So he worked another 7 years for Rachel, and then he worked 6 years for his animals. Good morning and Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
I'm only for Simchas.
Thank you.
He send warm regards.
I will.
And so Yaakov prepares for the encounter with Esav. After 20 years, he thought Esav would forgive. No, Esav is right there with 400 men wanting to kill him. And back to the, he said to Esav, I lived with Lavan and Garti. It's the same words as Taryag. Garti is Gimel Resh Tes Yud, which equals Tes Resh Yud Gimel, which is the 613 mitzvahs. He said, I lived with Garti, I lived with Lavan, and yet Rashi says Taryag mitzvahs, and yet I was able to keep and to fulfill the 613 mitzvahs without losing myself, losing my closeness to Hashem and my diligence and sincerity in keeping mitzvahs, which is very hard when we're living in such close, a father-in-law, and there's so much influence, and it's so hard to like, even without our noticing it, to like a little bit fall in one area, slip in another, something gets like off, and he didn't miss anything. Taryag, he kept the whole Taryag mitzvahs. And he called his father-in-law's name was Lavan, the father of Rivka, of Rachel and Leah. And if you switch the word Lavan, Lam replaces Noam, you get Nabal. Nabal is a liar, a scandal, a terrible person. And so that's really who he really was. He pretended to be Lavan, white, pure, pristine, good. But no, that was the real him. And the same too with the word Arami, Lavan HaArami. He came from the country of Aram. So he was, we come from Detroit, we're a Detroiter. So he was an Arami. And if you switch those letters, you get Ramai, which is also a scandal. It's the same letters switched around is Ramai. And here he's talking to Esav, who calls him my brother Esav. If you want, let's act like brothers. I have a lot. I'm willing to share it with you. I want to come with peace. He sent messengers, and they came back saying Esav is prepared. He's set up for war. He's going to take revenge. He's going to kill you. And so now, how does he prepare? And this teaches us, for each of us, how we can prepare. There were 3 ways that he prepared for the encounter, for the meeting with Esav. Do you remember? Anyone know the 3 ways?
He divided the camp.
Sorry?
He divided the camp.
He divided his camp into 2, which is also a wonderful, wonderful eitzah for us. When we're up against something, we don't know what to do. Is he going to attack here or there? Should a person go to this doctor or that doctor? Live in this home or that home? And like, what do I do? How do I choose? So the first thing is that whatever I end up choosing, Yaakov Avinu says, Hashem, I'm not going to let go of you. I'm not going to let go of you. You're going to be with me there or there. And that's one thing I'm not going to give up on. And because after 120 years, like Kayla was saying, like Judy was saying about her brother, should rest in peace, he was honest. That's what people talk about. People that have no connection to Judaism or to religion, they're not going to say he owned 3 yachts. Wow. They're going to say he was kind. He used his money to give charity. And that's what counts after a person passes away. So that's what he tried to do. He said, no matter how I switch, no matter how I end up, where I end up, I'm going to be with you, Hashem. And Yaakov taught us that no matter what decisions we make in life, there's one decision that's non-compromisable, it's not up for discussion. It's up with you. I'm going to do whatever I can, even if it's a little bit. Even if it's a little bit, because we're right now the generation, we're the year, the day before Mashiach. And it's ours up at his last fight. And the rabbi said,
What did you say is the one thing? I didn't hear
I'm
you.
not going to give up on you. I'm just going to keep you in my life, keep your mitzvahs in my life, keep doing good. Like Judy's brother was honest. Like that's what counts. At the end of 120 years, it's the things that we grabbed, even little things. Reminds us of Hanukkah, which is coming up soon. Vayishlach is right before Hanukkah. What is the big nace and what do we celebrate in Hanukkah?
Religious freedom.
Religious freedom, and we light, exactly, and it's symbolic of the light that we light. We light 8 candles every night, 1 more. It's a little candle, it lasts what, a half hour? It's not big, neon lights on top of Broadway. It's that small little candle to appreciate and know a small little good act, a small kind act, a small saying Tehillim, saying 1 chapter, so very precious to Hashem. And that turns into a flame. That turns into we are the light to the nation. That turns into the Geula. And we learn this from Yaakov, and it's nothing's a coincidence, but Vayishlach is a couple weeks, sometimes shorter, closer to Hanukkah. Teaches it's the small things, and we hang on to them. We hang on to them. We don't let them go. And that's what you had said. He divided his camp into 2 because he's not going to give up on everything. Say, okay, the enemy's coming. I'm going to sleep. I'm overnumbered, outnumbered. I just can't. It's like the Hanukkah story. How did the 5 Hashmonaim, who weren't the best army soldiers, they were busy learning Torah, they're old men, and they overcame the army of the Greeks with big elephants, with big armor and strong soldiers. It's from Hashem. Everything is from Hashem. And so we could just realize that. First, I like to take away a lot of lachats and like pressure, because Hashem is taking care of us. And then to keep our eye on what's important, because that's what lasts. After 20 years, that's what lasts forever. And so he prepares for his meeting, Yaakov, our father Yaakov, with Esav in 3 ways. So the first way is Doron. He's going to give him a gift. He's going to say, I have so much for you. He gave him a lot. Say maybe that would like ease his anger. That would he would realize that I'm here for you. You're my brother. That's a gift. And if that didn't work, he was prepared to protect himself and his family with milchama, by fighting war. And with it all, what was his main way to prepare? Tefillah, with prayer, because that's the main type of, when we say we should have hishtadlus, we should make an effort in whatever, making a living, in health, in anything in our lives. What's the main hishtadlus? You go to the source, to the highest doctor of the highest Mount Sinai, in the highest Manhattan, in the highest, who's top of doctors of Hashem. Why do we go to a regular doctor? Why do we get a job? Hashem says, I take care of you. I'm taking care of you. I give parnasa and food to all of you, to the smallest, to the highest. So why do we have to work? Because Hashem wants us to. This is always like a catch-2. It's like a question. If I worked, what pays my rent, my weekly salary? If I don't work, and I believe in Hashem, so it's one or the other. How can we combine the 2? And we learn from Yaakov Avinu, and the son of the Rambam also teaches us, we're going to get to that soon, how we can have that balance and healthy, both having faith in Hashem and doing what he wants us to do. So this was Tefillah prayer. And interestingly enough, this represents our three forefathers. Do you know which goes to which? Which would gift be? That would be Abraham. Wonderful. That's Abraham because Abraham was known for his attribute of chesed, b'diut. So that was he used the and wanted to bring into power his grandfather's zechus. And then the next one, Melchama, was his father, Yitzchak, because not that he was a man of war, but he was a gevura, right? He was like gevura, and then to bring the two together and to bring into tefillah, that was Yaakov, and yet even when he davened, how did he daven? He didn't say I must have it. He didn't say it's coming to me. He didn't say that I'm a tzaddik and therefore you need to help me. He said, Hatzileni na, please help me. Please help me, Hashem. He came with softness. He came with humility. He didn't come and say, look, I'm great, I deserve it. Because that teaches all of us. Yaakov Avinu didn't say that, and he was so very great. How about all of us? If we come to Hashem and say, I deserve X, Y, and Z, so he'll look into the books. Even if you deserve something, it's by the book. It's not going to be big because you're asking, out of what you deserve. But come say, I don't deserve anything, Hashem. Please have mercy on me. Please take care of me. Then the sky's the limit, or the sky's not the limit. Hashem says, here, it's all yours. Come to me, ask me, and I'll give you. Ask me, and I'll give you. He wants us to come to him and to ask and to beg for him for what we need. And so here's the Yetzer Hara, right? He's very strong at the end of days. It's like two people are fighting. You remember those fighting matches, and then they count to 10 and one's down and then he wins. So if the opposing guy, Rick, sees that John is winning, and Rick is really, really like he has like 10 seconds and they're going to call that ding, 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 he starts to go crazy. He starts to play and to move he just starts because he has nothing to lose. He's out any minute. He's, the down out. So he has nothing to lose. He's going to go for it till the end. Yetzer Hara, right before Mashiach, this is the end. Because Hashem is going to slaughter the Yetzer Hara. Slaughter could be, he's going to take the bad out of it and leave the good and turn it to a good malach, to a nice, good, kind malach. But meanwhile, what does he do? He goes above and beyond what Hashem told him to do. Hashem told him, make the Jewish people sin. Trap them into taiva, into sin. And he goes beyond, thinking of ways that he can get us to sin more than Hashem asked him to. And for that, he's going to be responsible. What is his strategy? Well, first, he wants to make us crazy, wants to make us sad, stressful, anxious, with tension. So we don't know what to do with ourselves. We don't know where to turn. We don't even know our name. He makes us like the vicissitudes of life, the scary parts of life, the terrible parts, the storm that's going on personally inside, or the whole country, the whole world. So what's the next step? It takes away our kadosh. When we look around, he says, you see Hashem listening to you. You see Hashem is not the kind of Hashem that you believe in. He takes away our emunah. And that's even worse than any of the tzara, any of the problem, because then we're left with nothing. But if we can realize that tzaddikim, Moshe Rabbeinu, other tzaddikim come to teach us Hashem is kind, Hashem is good, Hashem loves you, even in the darkness, even when you don't see it. Remember last week when Yaakov woke up, he said, wow, it was dark here. I didn't know, but Hashem was here the whole time. He was with me, holding me the whole time. And if Esha B'choshech Hashem Orli, the person goes in darkness, Hashem is his light, is our light. We had a teacher in Detroit, Rabbi Schluss. I don't know if he was there when you were there, Rabbi Schluss.
He was there, but I didn't go to his.
I went to his class and he taught us from the Navi, if Esha B'choshech, I sit in the darkness, Hashem Orli. Hashem is my light. And afterwards, we realized even in the darkness, he was holding us. He was not forgetting us, turning away from us. just, he's always there for each and every one of us. And so these confusing thoughts, that's not the main thing. The main problem is the Yitzhar gets us to give up. Oh, it's so hard. I'm just going to turn over. It's so rough. And then he has us. Then we're candy in his hands because when we give up, we can't get what we could have gotten anyway. We can't get what we could have grabbed. There was an old poor woman that was selling apples, and some wild teenagers came and tipped over her barrel of apples, the little that she was selling it from. She was crying and crying, and someone came to her and said, "Grab an apple." It was all over the place. It was like 100 years ago in Europe, but it was all over the grass and all over it. And she's crying, "Grab, so you grab 5, even grab 4. We should never give up because one apple is worth so much. One apple is so precious to Hashem. And if we can hang on to that, then we grab what we need. And then after 100 years, we say, I have a few apples, a few moments of light, the small Hanukkah candle. What's that? What's that? Nobody's going to look twice at my few apples, my few mitzvahs, my few times I said to Hillel or helped somebody. It's huge. It's very, very huge. It brings the Geula. So we have 2 enemies. We have 2 types of war. We have Yishmael. Well, we know from the beginning, he's knives, he's guns. We know who the enemy is. It's Yishmael. Just stay away from him. Then there's Esav. He's wily, he's smart, he's sophisticated. He hugs us. And he says, I care about you. I want to open up your eyes so you can see the world, so you can have a good life. You don't understand that he just wants to bite us. He just wants to kill us. But Yaakov Avinu understood it. Yaakov Avinu understood this. That's when he divided his family in 2. And grab what you can. He just said, whatever you can grab, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up and say, okay, Esav is going to, God forbid, kill the whole family. I'm going to take what I can. I'm going to grab what I can. And it says, after 20 years, they're going to ask us, Kavata iti l'Torah, did you set aside time, even a little bit, even 5 minutes a day for Torah? And the word kavata, to set aside, can also be koveya, like steal. Did you grab it and steal a moment here and there? Because people say, I'll wait till I retire, or I'll wait till the war's over, I'll wait till I buy the house because I don't have.
Wait till I lose weight.
Wait till I lose weight. That's the best one. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll wait till the children go out.
Right.
I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll wait till Shabbos. Anyway, I didn't say my Tehillim this week. I'll start again next Sunday. I try to say Tehillim every week, and I'm so terribly lost towards the end of the week. Like, I'm not going to make it. I said, okay, let me try again next Sunday. No, grab in.
Yeah.
Grab in one more chapter now. And you know what? If I can't say the Tehillim, I can hold it. If I don't have the koach or the emotion, I'm not in the mood. Emotionally, I'm not there. Rabbani Cook taught us this, that sometimes she doesn't feel like saying Tehillim. What does she do? She turns the pages and pieces each page. So she has that's the connection with Hashem. How much he loves that. Or the Tehillim's in my purse. Take a light one, but it's in my purse. I don't leave it getting dust on the shelf. It's in my purse. It shows Hashem I desire is so precious to him. I want to do your will. I want to do your will, Hashem. I remember my son had a pile of books of Svarim. He rarely got to read them. He was in pain, to learn that he was in pain, or he didn't have the concentration. He carried it wherever he went. He'd say, wow, maybe today. It's so precious. This is Hanukkah. This is our small little light. It's not the big war that we won that we celebrate. There are a lot of bigger miracles in a way. How do we celebrate that little light? That's what can grow into the light of Mashiach. That can open up our heart and the heart of the world to be alive, to be light to Hashem, to bring the Mashiach. So Hashem is always waiting for us. And he wants us to talk to him and to ask him. Shalmi mani betna, King David says. Ask for me and I'll give you the world. Just ask me. I'm here for you. And so ask him and thank him. Help me. Hashem, I'm scared. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I'm at a loss. I don't know which camp to go. I don't know which direction. I don't know what to choose. We listen carefully and we look carefully enough, we'll see that Hashem answers us. And we'll see that he supports us and we'll feel his love. And like I had a desire to say more Tehillim because people were saying Tehillim and people I know. And like I love Tehillim. Tehillim is so special. Tehillim from David HaMelech. His whole life was full of challenges. And his son wanted to kill him, Avshalom. He says a pair of Tehillim about that. His good happenings, things that were great. His simchas. Thank you, Hashem. He says that. He said it with Ruach HaKodesh. Every emotion is in there. So when we can connect to the Tehillim, it's like we can have that same Ruach HaKodesh, that divine spirit when we say it. And it's a great way to come close to Hashem. Tehillim helps us to do tshuva. Tehillim it's just like, it's the heart of every Jew. Do you remember Rabbi Levy from Detroit? He's saying, I think he wrote this beautiful song, when a Jew has it rough and things are very tough, Tehillim he does say, when a Jew has it good and things are, something rhymes, wonderful and great, he says to him, "Oh Hashem, oh Tati Oivei, oh my dear father Oivei," and he sang this beautiful song. Tehillim is like part and parcel of the Jew. They say that in the time of the when Jews were leaving Judaism, like 400 years ago, through the Enlightenment, which was really endarkenment, it was so dark, because they'll build big bridges for what? Let us do things that are forever. That sometimes you could find a person learning Torah on Shabbos and smoking a cigarette, learning Gemara, because their mind was in the Torah and they couldn't break away from that. It's very engaging, there's nothing like Gemara. You know, somebody was a scientist and he said, what I had to learn to be a scientist is nothing compared to the mind that we need for Gemara, and it's so exciting intellectually. They were smoking, but you would never ever find a Jew, a Yiddish, saying Tehillim on Shabbos and smoke. This is our heart. They don't go together. Tehillim is our heart. So I was asking Hashem, please Hashem, I finish the Tehillim once a week. You know, it's divided in different, like days of the month, 1 through 30, and then the days of the week, 1 through 7. So you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos. So I'd start off on Sunday on the right foot. I'd say all of Sunday. On Monday, I'd say maybe half of Monday. So Tuesday, I find myself busy. I don't say anything. So I say, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm going to catch up. What I do Wednesday, 2 chapters. I find myself it's Shabbos and I've got 2/3 of the Tehillim to say. I say, oh no, I try to say it, but like, Shem, what happened to my week with my Tehillim? Please help me. And I have people that I know, relatives, women in Yerushalayim and Meishan, they say the whole Tehillim every single day. No, I'm sorry.
Every single day.
Every single day.
Shabbos, the whole
I don't know
day.
how can they do that
Fast.
with a bunch of children.
Maybe not. Maybe they're older.
Oh.
And they have 2 hours to do, you know, like
Oh,
Lahavdil, a person could work for every day for 3 hours. She could like help an old woman who might be 5 years older than her, but she can help her. So she has a job for 3 hours. So that's fine. Then she fits in the day. The rest of this is why I tell myself, she does her shopping now, her dishes then, laundry then, she makes her phone calls then, she visits her, and then comes to Bas Medrash. Meanwhile, she has a 3-hour job. Okay. So my job is 3 hours until impossible. I always tell myself, but meanwhile, I'm not there. And so I ask Hashem, please can I say it once a week? Finish it. In other words, Sunday, Monday, every day, 7. And these people are so great, I can't even like compare myself to them. But then a friend gave me a Mishpacha magazine. Do you read it ever, Mishpacha?
No.
No? Anybody read Mishpacha? I like it. I used to. Not
It's
so
in
much.
English?
It's in English. Yeah. Both Hebrew and English. It's in English. It's like Ami or Bina. So anyway, I'm flipping through the pages and I get to an article about musicians, which is always towards the back. I'm not really excited about it. I like music, but not to hear when they were born and what's the first thing they made up. And but all of a sudden it's talking. I don't know, my eye caught my attention. It's talking about Yossi Piamenta. He was a musician. If you ever heard of him, he passed away 9 years ago.
He did?
Yeah.
He wasn't old.
No, he wasn't. He could have been 62. 60. Yeah. And he had like that Bukharian.
He got sick.
Sick. Yeah, so when you back to when he first came to America, I think in 1990s or 80s, I remember somebody said, come be part of our ensemble of our music, and we're going to put out an album. And they went to the place where they do the recording studio, and person writing articles said, and I was looking for him to welcome him and to show him around. And I see there's musicians talking in every corner, having a coffee and schmoozing a little bit. I'm looking for Yossi Piamenta. I see him. He had set up his guitar. He's ready to roll. Sing to him. In other words, I said, Hashem, you showed me that article to tell me it's possible, to give me that encouragement. I'm not saying if Yossi can do it, I can do it. Yossi's a big tzaddik, but I'm saying if a person's busy and he's a singer and he has a job and he sits and takes those few minutes here, few minutes there, and then the article went on to say he finishes the whole sefer. He tries to every day. I said, oh boy, let's work once a week to say the whole Tehillim. And I'm trying so hard. I can tell you that we're not so good because I only did one chapter yesterday. I didn't do
One chapter is a kapitel,
one kapitel. I didn't.
That's
do
amazing.
It's amazing, yeah. Baruch Hashem. Amen. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're saying it's amazing to hold it and to bring it with. Hashem loves all of that. Thank you. So that was what I just tried. And then another time, Hashem so much wants us to turn to Him and to ask Him for help. So I've been asking Him for simcha for like the last 50 years. I that's my main. Please, can I be happy? Because I'm thinking this is the key to everything. If I got simcha, then I got tefillah. Because what else would you want to do if he's happy? Yismach leim Hashem. King David says, a joyous heart. What does he do? It's in chapter 105. He looks for Hashem. Because what else would a person want to do? What else is happy? What else is real? What else is this world are we here for? So I ask him for simcha, and I ask him, and I ask him, and I say, look, King David said, if does Hashem the simcha, serve Hashem with simcha, please could I have simcha, tain li simcha. And then you know what?
Well, you can't really serve Hashem when you're sad.
Right, you don't want to get out of bed, let alone open your mouth, let alone help somebody, let alone smile, let alone make cholent, nothing.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Just let me turn over. So all of a sudden I felt that he said to me, you want to be happy? Here, I'm giving it to you. Like, take it. Like, I'm so help me be happy. Help me be happy. I'm so like used to that. Like, it's yours. It's a gift. Take it. Be happy. Oh, okay. Never thought of that. Okay. And then thank him. Nasata Simcha Belibi, King David says in chat in Kapitel Dalet. Puts simcha in my heart. He started thanking him instead of like, oh, I want to be happy. Here, take it. I'm giving with two hands. It's a gift. It's yours. So I start to thank him. Thank you that I'm happy. And then I saw that in Aling L'Trufa, Reb Nosson writes to his son, Reb Yitzchak, something similar that I like to read. He says, where does he say it? He says it. You should know that Hashem helped us a lot to be very happy. The Sudas Shlishi and Shalashudas on Shabbos. Mashallah Allah Dati. I didn't imagine that we would be this happy by Shalashudas because it was out to the contrary. Adarabba. Highly kvedis, the Lev Nishbar. I was feeling heavy, not sad, but heavy and dry, like a heart. My heart was broken. Hashem Yisbarach helped me with His tremendous simcha to lafoch hakol. Everything turned over l'simcha gedola, to great simcha ad shigia ad haragim. We were so happy, like it says that his heart lifted up his feet. He started to dance. And so it's possible just to ask Hashem, help me to be happy, and also to thank Him. Thank you that I'm happy. Even if I'm happy, let's say out of 10, I'm only 2. Thank you for the 2. The next day, thank you for 2.5. Even if I'm a little bit happy, that's what we learn about Hanukkah. When we thank Hashem, He'll say, you're thanking me for this, I'm going to give you more happiness. You're thanking me for 0.2, I'm going to give you 9.9. You're going to get it. And but good. And so
But you can't do that, so then you get it.
that can't be our intention.
Right. You have to really do it, like change your mind.
Doing is what, thanking?
Yeah. Like, oh, I better think, so then I'll get what I want.
Yeah, but what if I want something good, like being happy? So
Okay.
rabbis teach us something. I just heard yesterday from the Lubavitch Rebbe, was so special. It says, mitoch lo lishma, from something that you do not for the sake of heaven, ba lishma. If you do it enough, like I'm not doing it for the right reason, I'm doing it to get honor. I'm giving the tzedakah, so everybody will say, wow, she's very generous, very charitable. So the Satan comes and says, you're two-faced, you're not real, hypocritical.
Right, yeah.
Who do you think you're fooling? Don't give that charity. You don't care about the poor people or the soldiers. You care that everyone says that the Bas Medrash won't say special.
Right.
So he said, oh, you're right, Mr. East. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. I want to be true. I want to be honest. I don't want to be two-faced. I'm going to stop giving charity. You're right. He wins. And the rabbis are smarter than him, and they have said, do things, do mitzvahs,
And then
lo
you'll come to do it
lishma,
the right way.
because me lo lishma, ba lishma. Mitoch lo lishma. What does the Lubavitch Rebbe say? And this is really, really beautiful. This says it all. With this, we could just go home. He says, so the quote on the pasuk, I won't write the whole, I know it, but mitoch lo lishma, mitoch lo lishma, from the midst of doing it not for the sake of heaven,
You'll come to do it.
but exactly lishma will come to do it for the right reasons, not in the right. So mitoch, from doing it lo lishma, not for the right reasons, what will we come to? Ba will come to lishma. Lishma means lishem shamayim,
Yes.
for his name.
It also reminds me of something that I read that the Rebbe said, that someone, said to the Rebbe, like like these Jews that come like once a year, Yom Kippur, they come to shul, like they put on this, like they're like that's who they are, like they're holy, or they're dressed up for Yom Kippur, and they're really, they don't do anything all year long, and that's who they really are, not like how they come and show who they are in Kippur. And the Rebbe said, Adarabba, the opposite. He said, who they really are is how they are on Yom Kippur.
That's the real them.
That's the real them.
That's the real them.
And how they are during the year, that's not who they are.
That's
The Rebbe
It's
just
so
always saw the
beautiful.
good.
It's so
and-
beautiful. That's the
yeah.
false them.
Yeah.
That's the gullus. That's the influence.
Right.
That's the Yetzer Hara.
Yeah.
But the real person is on you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I used to go to a share in Stamford Hill, the Rabbi Golub was a Chabad, and he said that you get people going to some which will probably happens everywhere in the world. They go once a week, or they tell us about the staff, and then after they go to the football match and watch the TV. So that time, those 2 hours, they're in shul and they're dabbling, they're praying. Yeah, that's what you should focus on.
That's
Like
the
they're
real
there
them.
and they're praying.
That's the real them. That's just beautiful. Wow.
And there's
Wow.
a story, I don't remember who it was that, I'm sure it's a famous story, I think, a big tzaddik, and walking on the street on Shabbos with this Hasidim, and they see a Jew, having,
Smoking?
I think he had tefillin on, something with tefillin, and, I don't know, I don't remember if it was on Shabbos or he was also smoking, and one of his Hasidim said, look at, like he's doing this, like, and the tzaddik said, he's holy Jew, he's wearing tefillin, you know what I mean? So it's
Look
like,
for the good.
we have to see the good in each other,
Wow.
It's
Very, very
and
powerful.
I honestly feel that the core of it is, if we see the good and the godliness in our own, and how we are part of Hashem. Our neshama is literally a part of Hashem, and we feel that connection, that we're going to see that in others as
In
well.
others as well.
Yeah, I think the core of it is not feeling good about ourselves when we criticize others.
Right. We have to
Yes.
look for our good
Right.
points and for
Yeah,
others.
and that opens our hearts to other people when
others.
our hearts open for ourselves.
Yeah, it's often heard that something annoys you in somebody else, it's what you're reflecting.
Right, what you're right. If you see something negative about someone else, look inside. But the
Yeah.
opposite is so much more powerful.
Yeah.
You see something good,
Yeah,
you know, I'm good, you're
Yeah,
good, we're
right.
good.
yeah,
Hashem loves you
Right,
and me. And
right.
so let's do our, well, some people once a year, some people once a week, some people try every day a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's do good. Let's do
Mm.
good. 'Cause the bad will just fall away. 'Cause
Right.
anyway, it's not real.
Right, the
Anyway,
bad
it's
isn't
not
real.
me.
Right.
It's not
Right.
my intrinsic
Right.
self. Anyway, it's
There's no substance to it,
yeah,
the bad.
it
And
goes
that,
like
and
that.
that, yeah,
It's like
and the
dandruff
good,
on
the
the
good
shoulder.
just builds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and good is real.
Yeah,
Good is
yeah,
real.
Right, because it's
real.
Hashem.
And Baruch Hashem, when we know that, we can get out of bed and we can be happy and we can help ourselves and others and we can live the true life that Hashem wants us to live, a life of giving, a life of doing, a life of joy, a life of, like he said to his son, we were dancing at Shalosh Shudas. It was a gift from Hashem. He asked him for all these gifts he loves to give. And like you said before, we have to be true. Yes, we have to, Malcolm, we have to want to be true and try our shifot, our desires to be true. But until then, okay, I'm not going to do anything because I'm not there. I'm not going to give charity because I don't want to give it for the right reasons. We won't get into first
Right.
base. Start that
No,
way and mitoch. Oh, this is what the Rebbe said. I forgot. So the Chabad Rebbe said, so the word mitoch, lo lishma, from, not for the sake of heaven, will come. Lishma, what does the word mitoch mean? Mitoch means from, also means inside. Tochen, the inside.
Oh,
What is the inside of the Jew that's doing it? Not lishma. The inside is lishma.
Mhm.
Like you were saying, the inside, even when we're not there yet, I'm giving it for honor. I'm giving it so people say, wow, she's so special. What's the real core desire? Lishma, for you, Hashem.
Right, because
It's
we
not
all really
something-
want to be connected to Hashem.
Yeah, it's not something that is going to evolve into for Hashem. The essence of everything is for Hashem,
Mhm.
of each of us, of each Jew. And so we're so precious. It's like amazing. When you feel that, all you want to do is hug every Jew on the street, you know?
Right.
I see soldiers, I just hug them, women soldiers, and
Yeah.
they look at me like, you know, or they row, I go up to someone, she starts taking out money. She thinks I'm like a charity, either for myself. Once I was there overnight with a 7-month-old baby, and it was like Bomer, and by the time we're more in the morning, we're nowhere to sleep, and this baby tried to rock him, held him. I looked like, anyway, I just, somebody offered me tzedakah or something. I said, no, thank you. I mean, thank you. But so when
There's the first step.
yeah, and so maybe she felt like I was, I handed her candles in Mayron, candles.
Oh,
for
and
Hanukkah. So she starts to pay.
Yeah.
I said, no, it's just for you. And she couldn't believe it. A stranger would just give me something, you know? And all of a sudden she was looking like sophisticated and looking down and looking like questioning. All of a sudden she looked so soft
Yeah.
and so
We have to look at
accepting,
each other.
so
Like
loved.
yesterday, I was in my room for an upsherin, but then I went in and I davened and I actually said all my kids' kapitals and as my mom's your site last night and today, which I want to mention, she is Sarah of Haidaba, as my mother, her 10th year site today. And Amen. Thank you. And there was a young woman there with a baby. And I saw her sitting there. She was beautiful. She was a beautiful young woman. And she's holding her baby. And I see she's got like tattoos on her. So I see, wow, she has a story. And like, here she is, you know? Baruch Hashem.
Reb Shimon.
Yeah.
And women like her, we were just talking about this on Shabbos, when they come to Reb Shimon, they're facing a lot of embarrassment because people are going to look them up and down, look at the tattoos, look at the, sleeveless,
Right.
and they do it
No, she
anyway.
was dressed seriously. She obviously is now, it seems, about tshuva, you know? But she went through stuff, you know? And here she is. Here she is.
And even those that are not yet about tshuva are still not
right.
But they
still
see the
go there.
tattoos here. They go there and they're going there with so much conviction and self-sacrifice and azus dikdusha, holy stubbornness. Why? I know I'm going to be looked at up and down, you know.
But then there's the ones that don't even know, because some, if they know, they're going to put something on because they don't want people to do that to them. But then there's ones that come like that, they don't even know. You know, I mean, I'm about tshuva. I didn't know about sneas before I was about tshuva. I never heard of it. I didn't even know what Shabbos was. I mean, I knew nothing. I grew up knowing you're Jewish, and my parents were both first generation Americans. You know, and in such a generation, like my grandmother was brought up from. Let's see how quickly, like in my it was gone. And my father. So this is
Every fourth
outrageous.
generation it comes back. That's what Reverend Syndrome deals with, what Garrett's said. in
Comes
Ghana.
back?
Fourth generation,
That's
starts
what
at
it
the
So my father, I just want to say this because this is amazing. That's just something I just figured out, and I was blown away about it. Right. So today is the yortzeit, not the yortzeit, the birthday of the Mittler Rebbe, the Rebbe right after Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the first Lubavitcher Rebbe who wrote the Tanya. His son, Dov Ber, it's his birthday today. It's his birthday. My father was born on Beis Kislev, which means my father's bris was today. My father was named Dov Ber from Shir Negev, which means he probably was named after this Rebbe because he was born. His bris was on his birthday. I have a son, Shalom Dov Ber, and he was born. I wanted to use the name Dov Ber, but my father was so far from Yiddishkeit. I like didn't want to totally like. I didn't want to just name him just for my father because I just felt, you know, I didn't want to have a hashbal for my father that was not like a kedusha. And my son was born on Yud Beis Cheshvan, and his bris was, I don't know, was the yortzeit or the birthday of the Rebbe Rashab, the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe, whose name was Shalom Dov Ber. I named him after Shalom Dov Ber with the intention that my father's in there, but it's the Rebbe.
Wow.
But what I didn't realize until yesterday, that my father was named on his bris from that Dov Ber.
Wow, his birthday. Wow.
It was like, wow.
Look at that. Such a connection, such a
Wow,
holy connection.
yeah.
Wow, generations.
Yeah.
Well, you're holy. Look at that.
My father's family was from a Chabad place in Ukraine, called Chernihiv. That when I told this Rabbi Itkin, who's like from an old Chabad family, where he said, where were your grandparents from? I said, well, my father's parents were from Chernihiv. He said that was a Lubavitcher shtab. And my mother's parents, my grandfather, my mother's father was from Minsk, but her mother was from Metsibach.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they moved to Kiev.
It's real Baal Shem Tov.
Yeah, I know.
See, you have a holy soul going
So
back.
I'm thinking, wow, no wonder I got drawn to Chabad.
Yeah,
you know.
it's in your blood, it's in your neshama.
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
I know that name with the Dov Ber and my wrist. I just figured that out yesterday.
wow.
I was like really blown away because I read a story about the
He was
Rebbe.
basically named after the same person.
No, my father was named after the Mittler Rebbe.
Ah, okay.
And his birthday was the day of my father's bris, and my son's bris was on either the birthday or the yortzeit of the Rebbe Rashab, which was Shalom Dov Ber.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Reminds me of this story. So the story is about the Kloisenberger Rebbe. When he first came to New York, they couldn't find a minion on Shabbos. Now he has big, he has all of what's it called?
Kahila. What?
Yeah, in Netanya.
Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Also in Putzlar.
Yeah.
And very, very big. These are Sans Kloisenberg Hasidim, Kiryat Sans, and couldn't find a minion. So there was a guy in the street, and he said, "Hi, could you help us for a minion?"
He lost his whole family.
He lost everyone, his
That's
wife
right.
and 10 children.
Yeah.
And this man said, "I don't believe." He said, "Why not?" He also
Yeah,
had
yeah.
said, because he lost everyone.
Oh,
He lost his family there. And he said he and his father were great chazanim. So he realized, okay, I'm going to ask him to take over the prayers and to be the chazan. So could you pray for the Amrit? Could you pray and sing the L'chadodi tonight? And he said, okay. He did sing beautifully. And he said, could you do it next week? So for a few weeks in a row, we came. And his son said, how could he lead us, the rabbi's sons? How could he, this man, he doesn't keep Shabbos. He said, keep Shabbos, don't worry. That's the German inside of him. that's the German inside of him. And next week he didn't come, okay, for a couple of weeks. So the Rebbe said to his sons, please look for him. They found him at a park bench smoking on Shabbos. So he said, bring him, he'll lead the davening. The son said, Tati, father, he was smoking on Shabbos. He said he wasn't smoking. He wasn't smoking. The German inside smoking, like he said about Yom Kippur, and he said about a sin chasvam with the tefillin.
Right.
It's not him.
Right.
So he lost track of him. The Rebbe became a big Rebbe, and like 30, 40 years later, a man comes to the Rebbe and says, would you like to come to the wedding of my grandson? Do you remember me? I said, no. He said, I was there on that bench. I was smoking on Shabbos. And you said, come, lead the services. And look. So he brought his sons and his Talmidim who 30 years ago said, how could you let him daven? He's a Machal Shabbos. He desecrates Shabbos in front of everyone. And at that time he said it's the German. And when they went to the wedding, his children, his grandchildren, all from and learning Torah. And he says to them, remember, I told you it's the German, and I told you it's not him. So like I we're so pure, and may we find it in ourselves and find it in each other. And if we could just could I ask you to read number 2? It's on the first page, chapter 32, pasuk 11.
חתנתי מכל החסדים ומכל האמץ אשר עשית את אהבה כי במקרה עברתי את הירדן הזה עתה הייתי לשגי מחנות.
Beautiful. Thank you. Who can read it in English? The end of the.
I am unworthy of all the kindness that you have so steadfastly shown your servant. With my staff alone, I crossed this Yarden, and now I have become too camp.
Yaakov is praying to Hashem. That's his main hishtadlus, his main effort. And what is he saying? Not, I deserve it. Save me from. He said, I'm humbled by all your goodness. You've given me so much, Hashem. I don't deserve it, but please give me more. And we learn from Yaakov how to approach Hashem. I don't deserve it. Just you're so kind. You're the best father, best tati in the world. Avinu Shabbat Shemayim, please give me. And when we turn to Hashem like this, he listens to everything. So we can learn from our father how to win every war. Our father Yaakov, war of the Yetzirah, wars of these guys. I don't know their names anymore. And it's Hashem. We should come. We should. Oh, we should. Oh, she's a sweetheart. So we should follow his ways and see Mashiach.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you. That's so nice.
That's his here, so you just.
Thank you for coming. You should have a lot of nachas.
Thank you. Yeah, we have